All right, awesome. Our participant count is going up. Welcome everyone to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but we'll be around for the entire session to answer your questions. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, but you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. And I'd now like to turn it over to our first institution to present, and that is Rutgers University, New Brunswick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Teresa Mahoney, the New York Regional Coordinator for Rutgers, New Brunswick. You can see my room. I keep it this neat all the time. Let me share my screen. I live on Long Island, so I am happy to help students from Long Island, Brooklyn, and Queens. Okay. So Rutgers University in New Brunswick, it's the flagship state university of New Jersey. We're known all over the world as a premier research institution. We are in the top 1% of the world, and of course, #1 in New Jersey. We're rooted in history, founded in 1766, back in the colonial days, before the Revolutionary War. It's the birthplace of college football back in 1869. And we're proudly in the Big Ten Athletic Conference with 24 Division I teams. You may have seen that our men's basketball team almost made it into March Madness this year, but Notre Dame beat us, but it was very exciting to come close. And here's the state of New Jersey, and you can see that New Brunswick, by the big R, is between Manhattan and Philadelphia. And it's really the heart of New Jersey. It's a hub of 75 corporate headquarters like Johnson & Johnson, and hospitals like Robert Wood Johnson and St. Peter's. So there's many opportunities for internships, jobs, entertainment. And I like to point out to our New York students that there's a train station that goes through campus, and it can take you into Manhattan in under an hour. And then you can hop on public transportation to get home. So it gives you independence to come and go as you please. We do have a big overall campus, but it's divided into 5 neighborhood campuses. And you see the map in the middle. Each of those red neighborhoods has its own dining hall, gym, library, learning centers, resident halls, gyms, classrooms, and there's a free bus shuttle that takes you around in a loop. And it's an interesting environment that at the top is the Bush and the Livingston campuses. That's suburban feel. And that's where the big football stadium is, Jersey Mike's Center for Basketball, engineering, business, and pharmacy is there. And then in the middle is the College Avenue campus, where it's like a small city vibe on the Raritan River. That's the original campus. And it's a mix with restaurants and shops and theaters. And the School of Arts and Science is there, and the School of Performing Arts. And at the bottom is the Cook and Douglas campus, where it's more rural for the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences. There's a working farm for animal science majors. So they study cows, pigs, sheep, anyone can go pet a horse, and vegetable gardens providing farm to table produce. And our women's college is located there with lots of leadership opportunities for women. You know, you'd live with the women and then you go to classes with the general population. Rutgers is a big, exciting university with 36,000 undergrads, 16,000 live on campus. We're the most diverse of the Big Ten colleges, I guess because of the location that we are in the New York, New Jersey metro area. And we value everyone's opinions and faiths, all walks of life. We have over 600 clubs, 80 fraternities and sororities, the largest Jewish student population of any public university. So we have many special interest groups, community housing are available to apply for. And hopefully we will get back to study abroad programs when everything opens up internationally. Here are our 7 schools that you can apply to on our application. And it's good because you don't just get, if you get denied, which none of you will, but if you don't get accepted into, say, the School of Engineering, but you do get into the first one, the School of Arts and Sciences, you can enroll, get your grades up, and then you can transfer after your first year. We have many different majors that you can see. And they all have different academic profiles, so they all look for different grades too. Learning at Rutgers, you have an excellent individualized experience. We have a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio. About 60% of the classes have less than 30 students, over 175 research centers. Even a freshman can start on a research project right away. We have an excellent career center that assists with internships and jobs, 84% placement rate within 6 months of graduation. And I hear nursing has about 90% get a job, and then the other 10% are in grad school. We have an excellent honors programs in each of those schools that were those red banner schools. And then we have one honors college, which has its own building, and it's made up of like 300 of the top students from all of those red banner schools. So you have a unique living and learning environment, and you live in with the faculty there. And here's our big football stadium, and everyone wears scarlet red. And our Scarlet Knight is our campus mascot. We're not on the Common App, we're on the Rutgers and Coalition application, and get everything in by December 1st to be considered for merit scholarships. Thanks very much.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, next up we have Hofstra University.
I'm muted. There we go. No, I'm not muted. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm gonna start sharing my screen here. Make sure we got everyone up and rolling. So hang on 1 second here. Ready? Hang on 1 second. Angry screen here. Alrighty, I think we're on. Hi, folks. My name is Brian Rothstein. I am Senior Associate Dean of Admission here at Hofstra University. Super excited to be sharing some information with you this evening about Hofstra and who we are, and kind of the different pieces along those lines. So a little bit about Hofstra. We are located out on Long Island, so pretty easily accessible for a multitude of different places throughout New York City, especially the 5 boroughs. We are 25 miles east of New York City. So if you are taking the Long Island Railroad from Atlantic Terminal, I know you folks at Brooklyn Tech are pretty familiar with Atlantic Terminal. You are on our campus in about 45 minutes. So the Long Island Railroad does take you out to our campus. We do pick up at 2 of our local Long Island Railroad stations, the Mineola and the Hempstead train stations. Our shuttle bus picks you up there. It also takes you to Target, Walmart, the supermarket, and the Roosevelt Field shopping mall. So you can get to everywhere you need to go without having to worry about having a vehicle on campus. But no worries either way. If you want to have a vehicle and you want to live on campus, you can. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. We are a large size campus, so 244 acres, but a small campus feel. It's 21 students on average in a class, and it's a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you're not going to walk into a classroom of 400 people or 40 people. The largest class we have on campus, about 35 students. So that really helps a lot with you getting to know your professors, them getting to know you. That helps with jobs, with internships, with opportunities inside our classroom, opportunities outside our classroom. We're right in the middle of medium-sized institutions. We have about 6,100 undergraduate students and about 3,000 graduate and doctoral students. We're also a really diverse campus community with students coming from 48 states and upwards of 70 countries. So you're going to be sitting in those smaller class sizes with students that maybe from Brooklyn or from Queens or from Long Island or from the other side of the country, like Washington State. This morning, I was with a student on our campus that's super excited to join our class of 2026 from the state of Washington, right outside of Seattle Space Needle. So that awesome opportunity of being able to immerse yourself in a culture with us here at Hofstra, with students coming from all over and all sorts of different experiences from all over, that really helps a lot. And that also helps a lot with opportunities for interest for clubs and organizations, for bringing a diverse group to our campus community in every sense of the word diversity of what that means. We have over 165 different majors, as I mentioned. What you're seeing on the screen are just many of the majors from A to W and everything in between. If you want to learn more about each of these individual majors, you can do so at hofstra.edu/majors. I'm going to talk very briefly about some of our popular ones. Everything in the medical field, so nursing, biochemistry, or chemistry, also joints are some of our popular ones for students who are thinking about doing anything in the medical field, especially because of our partnership with Northwell Health Systems. We are the only college university partnered with Northwell Health. If you're not familiar, Northwell Health is one of the largest health systems in the state of New York and one of the largest in the nation. So super awesome opportunity for our students that are looking at medical school, PA or physician's assistant, and nursing. Other popular majors amongst our students, business, education, communications, all offering 5-year bachelor's master's programs. Kind of cool with our School of Communication. We have the largest TV studio outside of HBO down in Hudson Yards on the East Coast. In addition to that, the only college university radio station in the nation broadcasting on behalf of a professional sports team. Anything heard on the radio about the New York Islanders is actually coming from Hofstra, produced, directed, written, and broadcasted by students at Hofstra. If you're thinking about anything in engineering, as you see in the center column, actually starting off in the first column and through the center column, multitude of engineering options, including an option for a co-op opportunity. So that's a 5-year program, in addition to a 5-year bachelor's master's opportunity. And on top of that, an opportunity to go pre-med, but still be actually majoring in engineering as well. Speech language hearing sciences offers a 5-year bachelor's master's option. Our psychology major offers a lot of that, and that's a popular major amongst our students. Theater, dance, music, art, anything in those fields. In addition to that as well, students are thinking about anything in law because of our law school here at Hofstra. We have a 3-3 accelerated program, 3 years undergraduate, 3 years graduate school, and 6 years getting both your bachelor's and your law degree. So that's a pretty awesome opportunity for students that are thinking about that too. So those are just some of the popular majors that we see amongst our students, but really important to be mindful that there are over 165 of them, and almost all of them offer minor opportunities as well. We are really big on the experiential learning piece here at Hofstra. We love students get that experiential learning and that hands-on learning experience, with over 71% of our students participating in some form of internship while they're with us at Hofstra. Might not sound like a lot. It's actually larger than the national average of amount of students that are participating in an internship. What you're seeing on the screen are just some of the places, facilities, organizations, companies, and so much more that our students are interning with. If you go to hofstra.edu/outcomes, OUTCOMES, you will find additional information about your specific major interest and some of the places our students are interning, where they've received jobs, average starting salary, average debt leaving college, and all sorts of fun things. So it's interactive and offers a lot of information there as well. Let's talk a little bit about our campus community. So 244 acres, large campus size, small campus feel, as I mentioned. 2 sides of Hempstead Turnpike, kind of cool and kind of unique. On our south side of our campus community, that's where you find all of our academic-based classes. On the north side of our campus community, so just directly across the street, and we actually have footbridges that go over that roadway. We call them unispans. That's actually where you find all the other fun things that happen, although I think academics are fun too. That's where you find our 220 student clubs and organizations, and so much more. 21 Division I sports teams. We do guarantee housing for all 4 years, and you are allowed to have a vehicle on campus at any point in time. Our students are super philanthropic and offer all sorts of opportunities for community service. Let's talk a little bit about applications very quickly. We are a early action institution, early action, non-binding. You apply by a specific date, you hear from us by a specific date. On your screen, you're seeing all the information about our admission processes. We're a test optional institution, except for medical school, our BSMD super selective medical school program, and our PA program. All of our other majors here at Hofstra are test optional. What you're seeing in regards to requirements, these are averages of the incoming class last year. We take all of them and average them out. Be mindful about those pieces, and 97% of our students receiving some form of scholarship. Last but not least, opportunities to come out and visit with us, hofstra.edu/visit. And my contact information, feel free to quickly snap a photo of the screen. I'll also drop it in the chat so you have that contact information as well. Thank you for allowing me some time this evening. See you soon.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have Fordham University.
Great, thank you. Okay, hi everyone. I am Maria McMahon-Beelan. I am the admission counselor at Fordham University for all applicants from Brooklyn high schools. So I've worked with students from Brooklyn Tech that are applying to Fordham for the last 5 years now. Fun fact, there are more Brooklyn Tech graduates in the first year class at Fordham than any other high school around the country or the world. So I know it's a really popular option for so many Brooklyn Tech students as they're considering where they'll spend their college years. So Fordham has 2 campuses in New York City. We have our Rose Hill campus in the Bronx and our Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan. You can see the 2 campuses here on this kind of split screen. Our Rose Hill campus is in the Belmont neighborhood of the Bronx, really easily accessible by the Metro North. There's a stop on the Metro North commuter rail train that drops you off right on our campus. The stop is Fordham. And we're also really accessible by the BD lines on Fordham Road and also the 4 train on Fordham Road as well. Our Manhattan campus is at 60th and Columbus. We take up 2 city blocks in Manhattan. Obviously, that's also really easily accessible too, with so many major transportation hubs in that general vicinity, especially just a couple blocks away at Columbus Circle. There's about 6,000 students at our Rose Hill campus in the Bronx and about 3,000 students at our Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan. At each of our campuses, we have 2 colleges. We have Fordham College, which is home of all of our arts and science programs, and we have the Gabelli School of Business. I'll talk a little bit more about the application process in a second, but it's important to note that students choose which campus and which college that they apply to when they apply to Fordham. At each of our campuses, we guarantee 4 years of on-campus housing for students who are admitted with housing when they apply. About 25% of our first-year students commute from the 5 boroughs or kind of the greater New York City area. So students can also choose whether or not they want to apply for housing or to live off campus and commute from home. Again, 25% of first-year students commute from home, so there's a great community regardless of kind of which experience that you want. Our students are really involved on campus, so even though there's all of New York City to kind of supplement the college student experience or the campus experience, there's so many ways that students are really distinctly involved in what Fordham has to offer. So there are a number of different research opportunities students can pursue outside the classroom. We have some study abroad opportunities that are really popular for students. We have our own sites in London, Granada, Spain, and Pretoria, South Africa. By far, our most popular study abroad program is London. It's a great complement to New York City. Obviously, the classes are in English because it's a Fordham site. All of the credits easily transfer over, all of the financial aid transfers over. So London is just a really popular destination for all students, regardless of their major. On campus, we also have over 150 student clubs and organizations. So a lot of our students are really involved and engaged in the campus community. Most notably, we are also the Jesuit University of New York. So Fordham is one of 27 Jesuit colleges and universities throughout the United States. And that's really what sets us apart, is our Jesuit Catholic mission and tradition. There's a couple ways that this really impacts the student experience. The first is a term called cura personalis, which translates to care of the whole person. At Fordham, we don't just care about what it is that you're studying or what you want to pursue after graduation, but really who you want to become and how we can help you do that and develop not only academically, but socially and personally as well. Another way that the Jesuit mission impacts the student experience is Hominis Pro Aliis, which is more commonly known as Men and Women for Others. There's a real commitment to social justice and active service and engagement in our communities for Fordham students. And they really live out our Jesuit mission in that way. I also want to highlight too that Fordham has a new president starting July 1st. Fordham's current president, Father McShane, has been in the role for 19 years. So it certainly cannot be overstated how exciting and rare it is to be considering Fordham in this new chapter, because it does not happen that often that we get a new president. Her name is Tanya Tetlow. She will be joining Fordham from the Loyola New Orleans campus, which is another Jesuit school. So I would be remiss not to highlight that, because again, it's a really exciting new chapter in Fordham's history that is going to be starting this summer. Just a little bit quickly about the application process. We are a Common App school. CommonApp.org is the only way that we receive and review applications. We have early action, early decision, regular decision. So there's a lot of different options depending on when you're ready to apply, or if you're interested in committing early decision. I noted that students apply to both a campus and a college. The vast majority of our majors are offered at both campuses, with the exception of our science programs are going to be based primarily at Rose Hill, biology, chemistry, and physics. And then our performing arts programs, dance, which is a joint BFA program with the Alvin Ailey School, and our theater program based specifically at Fordham. Those are both based at Lincoln Center. So if you're not interested in the performing arts or science, you really can choose whichever campus you want based on the ease of commuting from home, or just whichever campus environment you're seeking if you want to live on campus. We also have a number of visit opportunities this spring, and then we'll post our summer visit options in the coming weeks too. So I hope to welcome you on campus, and I'll add my contact information in the chat if you have any questions. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. All right, next up we have St. Bonaventure University.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Give me 1 second while I share my screen here. Whoops. All right. Oh, I'm sure you're seeing the wrong one. Give me 1 second here.
I think it looks good.
Oh, it does look good. I'm showing you the right. Okay.
You are, yes.
I can't tell if it's the presenter view or what. I'm coming off of maternity leave, so I'm a little rusty with presenting to students. So hi, everyone. Thanks for bearing with me. My name's Katie. I'm an admissions counselor at St. Bonaventure. However, I am not the typical New York City area recruiter. For those of you who are interested in Bonaventure in the future, Tiffany Capella Barlow will be your admissions counselor that you're going to work with. Now, a little about St. Bonaventure. We are quite far. We are in Western New York. So we are about 6 hours from where you guys are. But we do have bus systems that can transport students back and forth if you do not have your own car. Freshmen are allowed to have cars. So you'll see on screen the main hub of campus. It's pretty tight. So you really only have to walk a few minutes to get to any important building on campus, although we do sit on about 500 acres. So there's lots of nature that surrounds campus. A little bit about who we are. We are a community that nurtures compassion, we seek wisdom, and we build integrity. But I say that Bonaventure is so much more than a community. We are a family, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm just gonna, get real personal real quick. Like I said, I'm just coming off of maternity leave, and many mothers, I imagine, are sad about going back to work and leaving their child. And yes, while I do feel that way, I cannot tell you how excited I was to get back to Bonaventure. This, to me, is the most amazing place. And I am so grateful for the faculty, for the staff that I work with, and especially the students. We just had our admitted student day this past Friday, and it was such a blast to be with the whole family together. So, when you go to Bonaventure, it's not just a school that you're signing up for or, getting admitted to. You're really becoming a part of something much bigger than that, in my opinion. And so at Bonaventure, not only, like I said, are you going to get an amazing education, but we also try to prepare you guys, professionally, but also we want to make our students just better people when we leave here. And I think that's thanks to our Franciscan, religion. We are a private Franciscan school. It's just a branch of the Catholic religion. Rather than priests, we've got our friars on campus, and they teach and, interact with the students. And it's nice because we care about the peace, the poor, and the planet. My coworker describes us as the crunchy hippies of the Catholic religion. So it's a great place to be. Like I said, you're going to leave here better people, and that's because of the service piece that we have at Bonaventure, being Franciscan. Community service is a core value that you'll find throughout your time at St. Bonaventure. Quickly here, we've got about 2,000 students on campus. So you're looking at very small class sizes. We're large enough that you're going to meet somebody new every day, but small enough to not be a number, or to not be just a number in the classroom. You're going to build those important relationships with faculty and staff. You'll see our faculty to student ratio or student to faculty ratio is 12:1. We've got 50 majors and 46 minors. Our graduation rate is 20% higher than the national average, and 97% of our graduates are employed or they move on to graduate school within 6 months of graduating from St. Bonaventure. So that's something we're really proud of. On the screen here, you'll see our academic programs. I won't read through all of these, but you'll see we've got a School of Business, a School of Education, pre-professional programs, so pre-med, dental, engineering, law, a School of Communication, which is great. We have some pretty fun alumni coming out of here. A lot of students are familiar with Adrian Wojnarski. He helps us out a lot and does a lot of fun events with our students, but a lot of our kids in this school get the opportunity to broadcast our Division I games on ESPN Plus, which is a really fun opportunity coming out of the School of Communications. We've got our School of Arts and Sciences. There's the Visual and Performing Arts and School of Health Professions. So again, you can check this out online. I won't bore you by reading the entire list, but if you do have questions about any of the programs, I'm certainly happy to answer those in the question and answer bar. Student life, this is super important. And I think, in my opinion, again, this makes or breaks that college experience. You want to get involved in something. You want to feel a part of that campus community. And at Bonaventure, 80% of our students are involved in some sort of club or activity or sport on campus. We've got intramural sports and club sports. There's over, I don't know if I said this, but there's over 75 for you guys to choose from to get involved in. We also have something called the first year experience. So we know that transitioning from high school to college can be quite a jump, an adjustment. So we have some tools for you guys. That's SBU 101. That's a 1-credit course that all of our freshmen take. You take it with a bunch of different students outside of your major, so that way you can get to know your incoming classmates a little bit better than, you know, the kids that you're just taking your usual major related classes with. We've got peer coaching. That's when you're mentored by an upperclassman. You can reach out to them if you need anything at all throughout your 4 years, but especially that freshman year. And then because of those tools, we have a really awesome retention rate. Freshmen leave here, or freshmen come and they want to stay. We are a Division I school. We are part of the A10 conference. Let's see, what do I want to say about this? So you have our men's and women's teams here. It's nice because we've got the energy of a big campus, but all of the benefits of a small one here at St. Bonaventure. And like I said, you'll see the men's and women's teams here listed. And basketball is huge at Bonaventure, but students show up and support every single sport. I went to my first rugby game and I was so impressed with the number of kids that lined the field to cheer on their classmates. This is just an average student profile. So you'll see our average GPA, our average test scores. 25% of our students come from outside of New York State. We've got 24 different foreign countries represented on campus. We're rolling admissions at Bonaventure. You'll see we just require your transcripts. Test scores are optional. An essay and a letter of recommendation. You can apply on our website or the Common App. We're free to apply. And over 96% of our students receive aid. So if you have questions about financial aid too, I'm happy to answer them. And I hope to see you guys sometime soon on campus.
Thank you so much. All right, next up we have Clark University.
Great, thank you. Hi, everyone. I hope that you're having a good evening. My name is Lydia Mann, and I'm the Director of Admissions Outreach here at Clark University. We're located in Worcester, Massachusetts. We were founded in 1887, actually as a graduate school for psychology. We're the only place in the United States where Sigmund Freud ever spoke. So there's a statue of him on the center of campus. We're now much more focused on the undergraduate experience. So we have 2,200 undergraduates on campus in any given year, about 600 to 650 students in a freshman class. We're the smallest research university on the East Coast. So you're going to get all of the access to research that you would at a research university with a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We're a campus in the heart of a city. We're actually the largest city in New England after Boston. Our student body, 40 some odd states are represented. 28% of our students are domestic students of color. 15% of our students are international students. We've got 17 NCAA Division III teams on campus, 140 plus clubs and organizations. We're a residential campus community with 4 freshman dorms that you can choose to live in. We have kosher dining options. And also we are the birthplace of birth control, wind chill, and modern rocketry. So real important research happening here on campus. And if that wasn't enough, You have to understand that our relationship to the city of Worcester is really, really special. I was a high school counselor before coming to Clark. I worked with students through the admissions process. My students would apply to over 250 different schools every year. I knew when I was leaving that job that I wanted to come to Clark because the way that Clark interacted with the city was unlike I'd seen on any other campus. If you're curious about it, Google the University Park Partnership. It's an award-winning relationship with our neighborhood. Speaking of the city, 20% of residents in Worcester are born outside of the United States. As a student at Clark, you'd have free access to the Worcester Art Museum, and we have a brand new minor league baseball team in the city, the Paw Sox, and that's a really fun stadium to come check out. When you apply to Clark, you can take classes in any of the 3 schools we have, the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Management, or the Becker School of Design and Technology. You apply to Clark, you can choose a major in any of those, you can take classes in any of those at any time. It is your choice once you get here. I want to point out the Becker School really quickly. It's our new game design program. We acquired this school new this year. Becker College was a school down the street that had to shut, and they actually had one of the top game design programs in the entire world. And so when the opportunity came for Clark to absorb it, we were really excited. It is right now the #3 game design program that you can sign up for. So if you are interested in actual design of games, or if you're just interested in user experience and the way that ATMs operate, that's a really exciting new option. We have a business school, and then we have a traditional liberal arts college. Up here, you'll see our core curriculum. It involves the first-year intensive, which is like a first-year seminar. Unique to Clark is that the teacher of that first-year seminar, 15 other students around a table discussing things every week, that person's going to be your first-year advisor. So your first-year advisor is not only going to know you through meetings, but they're going to know you through learning. They're going to be able to give you great advice. You're going to have to do the program of liberal studies, and you'll see the different areas that you'll have to take classes in up there. We want you to be left brain and right brain thinkers. We want you to be able to problem solve creatively, work with others, and then be really analytical about what you're talking about. And that's what the program of liberal studies is designed to do. So you have a lot of choice. We're not making you take calculus, but you should probably take something that involves a formal analysis approach. Problems of practice courses are my favorite part of the curriculum. So these classes, the faculty member says, I will take you outside of the classroom to learn. So you might test water quality for the city of Worcester. I live in Worcester. I hope my water is safe to drink. Or you might work with Senegalese refugees through the immigration process if you're a French speaker, and actually translate court documents and show up in court with the person you're working with to help them through that process. So high stakes learning that really helps our community and helps you as a learner as well, really hands-on. And then everyone's going to do a capstone, which could be a senior thesis, it could be a paper, it could be a research project, it could incorporate an internship, it could be a capstone course, which is you and a handful of other students probably working on a research project together. We just want you to have some experience that shows that you're an expert in your field so that you graduate really proud of the work that you've done while you're at Clark. And all of those fancy titles that you see under the different first-year intensive problems of practice, those are examples of classes or projects that students have worked on. If we were at a traditional college fair and I was behind a table, some of you would probably come up to me and ask, what's unique about Clark? It is a good question. It is a challenge to answer, and I really do feel like every college should probably be able to say something special about themselves that, and if it resonates with you, that probably means it's a school that you should continue to look at. So here at Clark, I would say that our 5th-year accelerated master's program is what's unique about us. We are one of only 2 schools in the entire country that I know of that offer this program that operates in this way. So as an undergraduate, you earn your bachelor's degree. If you want to go to more school after that, you earn your master's degree. And normally a master's degree would take you between 1 and 3 years in many of these subject areas. But here at Clark, if you like any of the programs that you see on your screen, we say stick around for 1 additional year. It has to be right after you graduate your senior year. You're still going to get to walk the stage with all your friends. You just stick around, and you are going to earn your master's degree in only 1 year. And it is going to be completely tuition free. So completely free to you in terms of tuition coming to Clark. You can earn your MBA, you can become a teacher, you can earn your public administration degree. If you want to do something like biochemistry, you should probably have studied biology and chemistry as an undergrad. But if you want to do something else, the choice is up to you. On the screen, you will see our required materials for admissions. It's really important. We are test optional, and test optional truly means test optional. So don't feel like that has to be a part of your journey, but if it is, we'd love to see your scores. I will throw my email address into the chat, and I'd love to hear any follow-up questions from any of you later. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Williams College.
All right, let me share my screen. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Carolina Echenique. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Williams College. And I will tell you a little bit about who we are. So we are located in northwestern Massachusetts, basically as far west as you can go in Massachusetts. We're sort of tucked into the corner there. It is a rural campus. We're in a small town by the name of Williamstown. And it's very much a college town where I think you see the college really deeply embedded in the town, and the two sort of having built themselves around each other. We're about 3.5 hours from New York City, about 3 hours from Boston, an easy drive or train ride away. Many of our students from New York will take the train into Albany and then grab one of our shuttles to campus, or they'll just drive straight to campus if they have access to a vehicle. So as you can see here, we're a pretty small college. We have about 2,200 students, and they come from all across the country, all around the world. And you can see a little bit about their backgrounds here. So I will start by telling you a little bit about how academics work here. So as I mentioned, we're a pretty small school, which means that our classes tend to be on the smaller side of things. Our average class size is of about 13 students. We do have a handful of larger lecture style classes, of course, but to be a student here really means to be in primarily small classes taught by faculty where you are expected to participate, where people are going to know your name and you're going to have a chance to be a part of the conversation. Just because we're small doesn't mean we don't offer a ton of courses and a ton of different subjects. We offer courses across the academic spectrum and a bunch of different majors and other areas of study. And then we have a pretty flexible curriculum as well. So we have what we call these 3 academic divisions. And in order to graduate, students take 3 classes in each division that you can see on the screen here, for a grand total of 9 requirements. So we're not saying you have to come here and take a foreign language, you have to come here and take calculus. We're instead saying within the bucket of arts and humanities or social sciences or math and sciences, what are some classes that you want to try? And we try to give you the space and the flexibility to do that. It's really easy to double major. Over 40% of our students will pick up a second major. So I think students have a lot of choice in deciding what their academic trajectory looks like here, what kinds of classes they want to take, and exactly what they want to get out of the classroom experience. I will mention really quickly, as I said, most of our classes are small seminars, but we do offer these really interesting classes called tutorials, which are essentially classes of 2 students and 1 professor. They're structured a little bit differently than other kinds of classes. You and your tutorial partner really lead the conversation most days, and your professor is there to ask questions, to challenge you to think in a different way. But I think I like talking about tutorials because I think they're really emblematic of the way that we do classes here. It's not necessarily efficient to teach 2 students at a time in a tutorial, but we do that because we know that it enriches the academic experience for students. Faculty love doing it. They're at a place like Williams because they want to be working really closely with students in these small settings. So if you're excited by the idea of being in these smaller settings where you get to know faculty and other students really well, you'll see a faculty member walking their dog on campus, or you might babysit for one of them or something like that. Then I think a place like Williams is a good place to look. I'll just talk quickly about a moment on campus that is very differently academically from the rest of the year. And it's what we call winter study. So before anything, I apologize, I have my dog on my lap now. So before anything, our calendar works a little bit differently than your typical semester system. We have what's called a 4-1-4 schedule. And essentially what that means is that students take 4 classes in the fall semester, 4 classes in the spring semester, and then 1 class in between the 2 semesters in the month of January that we call winter study. So if you've heard of January terms at other schools, this is essentially the same concept, but it's basically a time built into the year where we say, take this month, take this space. What do you want to get out of it? What kind of class do you want to take? And what do you want that experience to look like? So we have a separate course catalog of courses that students can take over winter study. And those classes are often academic, but also often more academic with a twist, a little bit more experiential. So for example, you might do a class on animal tracking where you spend the month outside tracking animals in the winter snow out here in the Berkshires, or you might take a class on the mathematics of building Legos, where rather than complete problem sets, you are trying to build Lego sets really quickly using math. You might take an internship over winter study. You might pursue an independent research project. The point is that you really get to decide what you want to get out of the month. And we build this into the year because we think it's really valuable. I think students get a lot academically out of this month, but because it's also a time to take a breath and just be here on campus, enjoy being here, enjoy being around your classmates, and just have a lot of fun. It's a really fun time to be here, even though it is the coldest time of the year. And then I'll just talk quickly about student life a little bit. So again, as a small college, we're really focused on that community experience. One of the ways that we do that in your first year is that we divide the freshman class into these smaller sections called entries. Each entry is essentially a group of 40 or so first years that are meant to be like a microcosm of the broader student body. So they're not all going to be people from the same places as you. They're not all going to be people with the same academic interests. The idea is that you get to live with these people who do really different things on campus than what you do, who you might not have had the chance to meet and get to know were it not for that entry experience. So this is just one of those ways I think that we try to bring students together across campus. And then finally, I'll just touch quickly on financial aid because, you know, a little over half of our students receive aid. We do meet 100% of every student's demonstrated need. And we work really hard to cover those hidden costs of attending college, like the cost of textbooks and course materials. Those are free for all students on financial aid, the cost of health insurance, and things like that. So I think I'll stop there. We are on the Common App in the Coalition application. Maybe that's my quick hit on admission stuff.
Awesome, thank you. Alrighty, so I'd like to invite everybody back onto screen so that way we can hear from each of you one more time. Right there, perfect. Okay, awesome. So my question for each of you is, what is the piece of advice you have for students who are going through the search process either now or sometime in the near future? And we'll go back to Rutgers University to start.
I think you should really try to visit the campus for yourself so you can picture yourself there. I think in COVID, everything shut down. So a lot of the colleges switched to having virtual tours on the website, which are great to look at. But if you really can go, you know, take advantage of going in person and eating in the dining hall to see if you like the food.
Awesome, thank you. Hofstra University.
Thanks so much. I would definitively agree with my colleague Teresa. Visiting is probably one of the most important pieces because you don't know how a college fits you. You don't buy a sweater without trying it on, or maybe you do, but there's a return policy. So it's an opportunity for you to be able to really see that fit and feel that fit. So things are made to look beautiful on paper. Things are made to look beautiful on the internet, but the way you really feel about a campus community is super important. So visiting is huge, and also don't stress. This is a small portion of your life right now, and this will be something different in years to come. So don't stress about it. Enjoy the process and really take full advantage of it, and utilize us as your admission representatives for everything you possibly can.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I definitely agree with what's been said, but I also want to encourage students to continue to take advantage of virtual options. I know Fordham, for example, we're doing a lot more like specialized, specific programming where you can connect with faculty and other staff members and administrators in ways that we did not previously offer in person. Or if we did offer it in person, maybe you weren't free to come all the way to campus to join. But now all you need is like an hour of time to really learn a little bit more specifically about a program that you're interested in. So while visiting campus is great, while so many colleges are still offering virtual sessions, I definitely encourage you to take advantage of that. And again, just an example, there's a virtual session that Fordham is doing at 7 o'clock. So I'll be doing that right after this for admitted students of color to learn more about the academic support and student services resources specifically designed to support them through their process. Those are not things that we used to offer in person because there was just too much of a barrier to get students on campus to engage in that. So continue to take advantage of all the virtual resources that we've pivoted to.
Thank you. St. Bonaventure?
I've got my baby, so I'm sorry if she starts screaming. I have something in her mouth. But anyways, I'm going to just agree with everybody. Definitely visit. You will know in your heart which school is meant for you after you complete all your visits. So go with that gut feeling. And I agree too. The virtual things, definitely keep taking advantage of that, especially for schools like us that are 6 hours away, and use your admissions counselors to your advantage. We are here to help. We want to talk about college. I mean, at least I do. I want to talk about college 24/7. It's really fun. It's a fun time. And I know the energy that you guys bring to this job for us makes it a lot of fun. So we want to help you as much as we can. So you can never ask too many questions. Do not hesitate to call us, text us, email us as much as you need to, so that you feel confident in the decision you're making. I think that's all I have. So yes, thank you so much, everyone.
That's great. Thank you. Clark University?
I would just tell you to take the time to rest, remind yourself that you're great. You are worthy of a college experience, and the right college will find you as you find it. I think there's a myth out there that everyone has to be unique and you have to have raised unicorns or something crazy to get into college right now. And the truth is that all of us on the screen are human. I love to read a story about an experience that I went through as a student. I love to feel like on some level, you've taught me something about myself, because the experience is so relatable. And you do that just by being you. And it is a true honor to read your applications, even those we can't accept. And so really take the time to take care of yourself and know that you're wonderful.
Thank you so much. And Williams College?
Yeah, I would again just echo, I think, what has already been said so eloquently by my colleagues here. I think I would add, it really helps to talk to as many different current students at our schools as I think is feasible for you. Probably all of our websites will have some opportunity for you to contact current students if you don't already have a former classmate or someone that you know. But just trying to get a lot of different perspectives on the experience. Everyone is going to experience the institution a little bit differently. And if you can gather as many perspectives as is possible, then I think you get to decide for yourself and really start to picture for yourself what that experience is going to look like for you, as opposed to filtering that through, any one person's experience. Another way to do that, I think, is by reading college newspapers and seeing what students on campus are talking about. Maybe there's a college meme page you can start to sort of lurk onto, things like that. All the various different ways that you can just get a sense of what students are talking about, what matters to them, so that you can start to maybe picture yourself on that campus as well. I think that's a really useful thing that I wish someone had told me when I was in high school and looking at colleges.
Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate all the advice you've shared. Okay, so at this point, we're going to wrap up. Thank you to our presenters for the information you brought with us to us this evening, and thank you to our participants for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions if you're interested. You can find all those sessions recordings at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening.